So, picture this. Lu Wuxia is in a total panic, and she can hardly believe what she's hearing. Her companion, Yang Guo, has just come up with this completely wild idea. "Let's play at getting married," he says, with a little smile. His plan? Disguise her as a bride, hide her face under a red cloth, and hopefully that'll be enough to escape her master. And even though she thinks it's a bizarre plan, they're desperate. She has no other choice, so she just asks, "How are we going to do it?"
Okay, so there is absolutely no time to waste. Yang Guo just urges their donkey into a full-on sprint. But up ahead, their path is completely blocked by a wedding procession with this huge sedan chair. The wedding party is shouting at them to slow down, but Yang Guo just pushes the donkey even faster, charging straight for them.
They crash right into the procession. With just a flick of his whip, Yang Guo effortlessly tosses two guards aside. Then, he snatches the young groom right off his horse and holds him hostage. The groom's entire escort, all 30 of them, they're just stunned by his skill. They don't dare make a move. An old man, thinking they're just bandits, offers them money, but Yang Guo just laughs. He makes it very clear that they're the ones in charge now.
Yang Guo points to Lu Wuxia and declares that she's his wife, and that he wants to play at getting married too. All while the sound of those donkey bells from their pursuer gets closer and closer. The terrified attendants, well, they hastily strip the real bride of her gown and her phoenix coronet, and they dress Lu Wuxia instead. Yang Guo puts on the groom's clothes, and for a final, really clever touch, Lu Wuxia has the real bride get into the sedan chair first, and then she sits right on top of her before the curtain is lowered.
Yang Guo orders the whole procession to just turn around and head southeast with all the music playing, but they've barely gone a few dozen yards when that dreaded sound of bells becomes sharp, urgent. Two donkeys are catching up to them and fast.
Inside the sedan, Lu Wuxia's heart is just pounding in her chest. This is it. This is the critical moment. Her master, Li Mochou, stops the procession. With a flick of her whisk, she rips the curtain open. Yang Guo tenses up, he's ready to fight, but Li Mochou, after just a quick glance inside, she just smiles. "The bride is quite blessed," she says, and then she just rides away.
Yang Guo is just stunned. How did she miss her? He looks inside, and all he sees is the terrified bride. He calls out, asking where his wife has gone, only to hear a little chuckle from below. The bride's skirt rustles, and out comes Lu Wuxia. She figured her master would be suspicious, so she'd hidden underneath the real bride's huge, voluminous dress, totally out of sight.
So after traveling for another 20 li, they finally let the wedding party go and find an inn for the night. But just as they sit down to eat, they're spotted by two Taoist priests, Shen Zifan and Jiqingsu. They immediately draw their swords and lunge, not at Yang Guo, but straight for Lu Wuxia. And at that exact same moment, the chilling sound of bells echoes from nearby. Their pursuer is back.
Hearing the bells, the Taoists retreat into a room. With Li Mochou's disciple on the roof cutting off their escape, Yang Guo has another idea. He bursts into the Taoists' room and swiftly disables them with a few well-placed pressure point strikes. He quickly puts on one of their Taoist robes, and Lu Wuxia, she gets it immediately and does the same. Their new plan is to pose as Taoists to fool her master.
Just as they finish changing, Li Mochou returns. In a flash, Yang Guo stuffs the two disabled Taoists under the heated Kong bed. When Li Mochou kicks the door open, she sees what looks like a totally normal scene. Lu Wuxia, in disguise, pretending to be asleep on the bed, while Yang Guo, also in disguise, sits there calmly sipping tea next to the third, terrified priest. Satisfied with what she sees, she moves on. The next day, they disguise their faces with soot and just keep moving. But while they're resting, they get confronted by two old beggars. At the very same time, Yang Guo spots the two Taoists they escaped from hiding nearby. He realizes the Taoists must have told the Beggars clan about their new disguise. And to make everything worse, that familiar sound of bells tells him that Li Mochou is closing in yet again. Thinking fast, Yang Guo walks towards his pursuers and boldly asks to borrow a sword. He then announces, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Let these beggars from the Gaibang witness the methods of my Quan Zhen sect." Now Li Mochou is startled. The Beggars clan and the famous Quan Zhen sect are allies. Lu Wuxia starts to worry. Her master knows the Quan Zhen fighting style inside and out. This was a huge, dangerous bluff. Before the Beggars can even call his bluff, Yang Guo attacks. He unleashes this dazzling flurry of totally authentic Quan Zhen sword techniques, moving with just shocking speed.
The two experienced beggars are completely overwhelmed. For every single one of his strikes, they're forced back 3 steps. By the time the furious exchange is over, they've been driven back a grand total of 54 steps without ever landing a single blow. After tricking the beggars into leaving, Yang Guo tries to return the sword, but Li Mochou stops him. She's suspicious, and she challenges him to a fight. Now Yang Guo knows he's no match for her, so he agrees only to withstand 3 of her moves. And to her absolute astonishment, he does it by flipping completely upside down and fighting with this bizarre inverted martial arts style he learned from Ouyang Feng. He even manages to snatch her whisk from her hands before she finally recognizes who they are.
Creating a diversion with a poison needle, Yang Guo and Li Mochou escape yet again. But they know Li Mochou will catch up eventually. They need a much more convincing disguise. As night falls, they come across a village where a troop of Mongol cavalry is stationed. Yang Guo decides their next disguise won't just be about swapping clothes, it'll be about swapping entire identities.
He sneaks into a large house and spots a Mongol official inside. The official, surprisingly, is a skilled martial artist, but he's just no match for Yang Guo, who easily evades his attacks and subdues him with this powerful internal force that literally makes the man's knees buckle. Bluffing about some poison, Yang Guo learns the man's identity. Yelu Zhu, the son of the Mongol prime minister. Yang Guo explains that they're fleeing a really powerful enemy and proposes a deal. He and Li Mochou will pose as Yelu Zhu's attendants and travel safely inside his convoy. Intimidated and frankly impressed, the official agrees right away.
The next morning they set off. Yang Guo and Li Mochou are riding comfortably in sedan chairs while Yelu Zhu is on his horse. And before noon, they hear it, the faint sound of bells. Li Mochou passes right by their convoy, completely unaware that the 2 people she's hunting are hidden right inside. For 2 whole days they travel, and the sound of the bells never returns. They were safe.
On the 3rd day, they arrive at a village. That evening, an attendant announces that a messenger has arrived with a letter, but it turns out to be a surprise visit. The man who walks in, smiling, is none other than the Mongol Prime Minister himself, Yelu Chukai, along with his other 2 children. The family quickly goes into a private room to talk. Back in their own room, Yang Guo suddenly tenses up. He's spotted someone on the roof, and it's not their pursuers. As they watch, a figure dressed all in black runs across the rooftops, kicks open the window to the Prime Minister's room, and leaps inside with a knife drawn. A woman's voice cries out, "Yellow Chukai, today we die together."